Hasan has lost the plot. Again.
This conversation itself better turn around into one that specifically focuses on Benjamin Netanyahu and his disruptive attitude towards the ceasefire negotiations, or else I'm going to lose my mind.
Would have taken out the malding, but other than that, that sounds great. Let's see how Twitter's reacting to this. Hasan getting kicked out of the DNC is the funniest shit ever, but also proves that the Democratic Party is not a place for principled people. They don't deserve our respect or our votes. Trump and Kamala are an insignificant difference. I won't be held hostage by threats of a two-party dictatorship, nor a party to genocide. Oh, now I've got to step in on this.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
It ain't easy being on stream.
The real job doesn't suck the soul out of you, you know what I mean? In the same way that 9 hours of streaming absolutely will.
Welcome back to the Level Broadcast, where I make sure to give you the breaking, on-the-ground news coverage of the internet's dumbest individuals. Two disclaimers. This video is going to be very political, so if you don't want to hear my dumbass political takes or someone else's dumbass political takes, I'd recommend waiting until Thursday when I decide to make a different video that's probably going to be less effort than this one, but I wanted to make this one today because I needed to jump on the story. And also, if you don't know who Hasan is, I recommend you watching my last video on him, which will give you a good background of who he is and why I got alienated from him and his political perspectives. With that all being said, let's catch up on the Biden Blast Z lore that I missed out on.
Previously on Biden Blast Z!
Excuse me, the COVID I skibbity with. Only God Almighty can make me drop out, Jack. I ain't quitting.
Biden passed the torch at the perfect time!
He's not my nightmare. He's my friend. He's the weird one.
Is God's favorite socialist looking to disrupt the momentum?
We're here chirping all the way from f***ing London.
Based Britophobia?
I know, on today's episode of Biden Blast Z!
I'm recording this on August 23rd, 2024, and as I am speaking, the Democratic National Convention concluded yesterday. Hey, give them credit. At least they didn't pick Kid Rock. That's all I'm saying. Fuck all you hoes for Harris. Detroit till I die, motherfucker. Anyways, I'm getting off track. The reception of this convention was a tale of two perspectives. If you were the bread toast neoliberal, you were clapping your hands like a f***ing seal. You know it. I know it. Don't kid yourself. However, a few individuals from the latter perspective are what I want to address today. And let me just first talk about how I think about the convention, or at least the cliff notes that I read up on, because God almighty help me if I'm gonna become a political commentator. I ain't ever doing that shit. No. First, in terms of the actual convention and presentation and the lineup, it was actually really, really hard. Like, I know it's just mostly because the Democratic convention brings out all the punches because all the celebrities are there and all that stuff. I have no complaints. It was just insane. It was really cool. But Level, I'm a God-fearing evangelical who will vote Trump until I die. What about the abortion clinics and the free IVF? Aren't those just spawns of Satan? Well, saying things like that are why you lost 2022, and I hope you keep leaning into that. Thank you very much. Keep going. That makes me feel good. And now to my perspective on the substance of the DNC, which translates to, other than funny moments like this.
Destiny made you.
You big, fat, white, nasty, smelling, fat bitch.
And also Mike Lindell failing to debate a 12-year-old. What the hell do I think of Kamala's speech from the DNC? Because that seems to be the only thing that kicked off all this shit in the first place. From what I've seen, it was expected at some point and not totally surprising. It was just a matter of time until she went this hard on rhetoric like this. Basically, she overcompensated by saying that we will have the strongest military in the world, which, okay, Kamala, I'm not joining the draft, if that's what you're implying. And the other contentious part of her speech was about her commitment to defending Israel, which is just, I don't know about that. Solid 0 out of 10. Not good. And also saying that the victims of Gaza break my heart. Put your thoughts and prayers for Palestine, everyone. Think about Palestine, guys. Again, not good. I didn't quite know her speech was this bad until I looked into it for this video. And don't get me twisted, Kamala Harris should pivot rhetoric and action in the Biden-Harris presidency towards getting, at the bare minimum, an Israel arms embargo and definitely a ceasefire, a full ceasefire, and not a temporary one like Israel is wanting. That's what I'm going to say here. That is my position, so you don't get it twisted. Trump should be called out for trying to persuade Bibi into waiting until he gets into office to let Bibi finish the job. Why am I calling genocide a job? What the fuck, Trump? You're not even president anymore! However, I am still going to discuss about who I am wanting to talk about today, which is the Palestine dead enders. And who do I call Palestine dead enders exactly? No offense to them. I know why they're doing this, but it's just going to a bit of a boiling point at this point. But basically, who I'll call Palestine dead enders are people who are just completely and utterly deadlocked on the United States and the Democratic Party in specific, just magically solving the Israel-Palestine conflict by the flick of a wand. And again, I'll make this as clear as I possibly can. Israel is committing war crimes in Gaza. The violence needs to stop. The bombing needs to stop. The death needs to stop. It all needs to stop. There needs to be a solution. I'm going to say these conflicts need to stop. There needs to be agreements between the Palestinian and Israeli people. This is why I don't talk geopolitics, because everybody's going to get pissed off. So that's the most I'll say on that. I'm not going to say more on that, because that's going to get me in hot water more if I say more shit. Okay? Okay. There are different intensities of this, but I would say that the worst are coming from the Hasan camp or Green voters. Hasan kicked this off. He started yapping shit. It was the perfect opportunity for me to make a video. Dawn of the final day of the Democratic National Convention. Hasan has plenty of interviews planned, but tragedy strikes.
We're getting booted. We're getting booted from this space. We're fine. We're fine for now in this. We're not fine for now. We're like literally, like we're permanently done here.
Long story short, Hasan gets kicked from the certain venue he's in at the Democratic National Convention, and he doesn't have anywhere else to go. The Democratic Party gives no official statement, and even though Hasan whines and bitches about it, he doesn't have any major complaints about the situation.
This is a gimme. Like, this was not supposed to happen at all.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
for sure.
Not even in my wildest imagination would I have thought that we would have access to get into the DNC. 4 days of just like being inside of the DNC, getting full-blown access, and taking advantage of it all the way. Obviously, like, I'm not a TikToker. I'm not like a YouTuber.
But you are an idiot.
And it's pretty crazy. I'm surprised it took this long. I don't know. I mean, I think Daniela literally came over to be like, no, we're not kicking you out.
At the moment of the confrontation, though, his fans had a more enthusiastic reaction.
Fight back? What do you mean? I will get evicted forcibly at gunpoint. There's no fighting back. They wouldn't do this to CNN? Yeah, no shit, they wouldn't do this to CNN, dog. I'm not CNN. What do you mean?
Aha, so he's not a journalist. Joking, I'm joking. Hasan's just a Twitch streamer who pretends to be a journalist.
The fact that I have CNN level access is already insane. Be for real, okay? I don't even know how I got this level of accommodation to begin with.
Honestly, I think it's probably because the Kamala campaign overestimates the power of the Hasan broadcast voting bloc. But hey, that's just me. And of course, his Twitch chat weren't the only yappers of the night. You saw this tweet earlier. And of course, there's some other bangers from the nosebleeds of the Hasan community on Twitter. I stand by every facet of this tweet that I posted. Hasan has been a disaster for democratic progressive political discussion, especially since he started talking foreign policy, specifically in Ukraine and Israel-Palestine. There has been hardly any debate about this, unless you're just completely stuck up his ass. Or maybe you just didn't notice the warning signs. I don't blame you.
You said America deserved 9/11. Did you mean that?
Yeah.
Refer to my last video if you want more context on that. I'm not replaying clips. However, he does not act alone in his stupidity. There are others who have taken his message and have ran with it for their own. I was down with it when they were chanting Genocide Joe. Because A, he was genuinely a corpse, and B, he is genuinely an establishment Democrat who is so entrenched into the establishment it's not even funny. Now I ain't with it when they're actively dragging the Democratic Party because they won't do the specific thing that they want them to do right now. You protest at one of her rallies. She silences you one time and then she pedals back and says, hey, I think we should give you people a chance to speak. I will work with you to get towards what you want. Now sure, is that what Biden said? Sure. Would Biden have done the exact same thing Kamala Harris is doing right now? Fuck no! No! And don't pretend he would. Jesus Christ, man. The Kamala campaign has actively tried to appease the youth vote who is turned off by Israel's genocide campaign, myself included. I myself have noticed a somewhat performative change in that rhetoric. Still needs work. It still needs a lot of work. However, I don't think any of this is worth tanking the Democratic Party. None of it. If you believe it does, go vote the Green Party and go fuck yourselves. I am genuinely serious. I've had it about up to here with this shit. And I don't want to see you people on my feed anymore. Just go do your own shit. Jill Stein has been a closer and better advocate for your specific goals and wants than the Democratic Party has ever tried to be. And that's me speaking from someone who's observed the Green Party campaign and has considered voting her in the past, when Joe Biden was an unappetizable option. Leave the Democratic Party alone and move on if you are so upset with them. I'm being dead serious. Your complaining is not worth my time anymore. You want to really tank the momentum of the Democratic Party against the monolith that is a second Trump presidency. I'm sorry, but you don't understand the implications of this election because you've seen it through the lens of a deranged Twitch streamer, and those views have been legitimized because Trump is genuinely a fucking maniac. It's funny and embarrassing, but nobody should take Trump for granted in terms of how fucked up he can make the country in a second term. Not just for domestic policy, but also domestic foreign policy that impacts nations such as, oh, I don't know, the Palestinian state. Trump gave Israel more land. What do you think he's gonna do in a second term? You do not understand your place in politics in the mainstream? You should vote for a third party that has no chance of winning and actively support it like your life depends on it. Leave us alone, okay? We don't own you. We are disavowing you. Or I'm disavowing you. I'm disavowing you right now. I am now denouncing them as a Green Party voter in denial. There's already been one individual who has said the quiet part out loud. I think the rest of you should follow in line. I don't care if you're a Hasan fan or anything. Quit being so attached to the Democratic Party if you just want to stay there to hate on them. Quit being a hate watcher of the Democratic Party. You need to log off. Sorry that I didn't plan this video out that well in terms of editing. I didn't think I'd have to split it up into chapters, but here we are. Like a band-aid on a bullet hole, I had to reveal the inconvenient truth. The wound may bleed, but I hope that it heals. Have a good one. See you Thursday. Bye-bye.